It's summer holidays and Hobart's Salamanca precinct is awash with tourists. But for Angie Nichols' underground cocktail bar, the real buzz comes in the darker months.
Actually, our busiest time of year is winter.
12 years ago, the Dark Mofo Festival changed Hobart's winter from a time of hibernation to one of celebration.
There's obviously a lot of interstate and international visitors that are coming here for the festival, but the locals also get out and start embracing winter.
When the 2024 festival was scaled back, it hit local venues.
That experience really cemented how important big events can be to our local business community.
Angie's Bar is just a short walk from the proposed site for even more big events, a 23,000-seat undercover stadium at Macquarie Point.
What excites me about the stadium is there can be events like this weekly, monthly.
3, 2, 1.
In a deal with the AFL, the state government has agreed to build a new stadium in order to secure a much-wanted Tasmanian team. But while some Tasmanians can't wait to see their team play locally, the stadium's proposed impacts on Hobart's landscape and the state's finances are angering others.
It's as simple as this. Tasmanians have had a bloody gutful over your stadium, and you can stick it up your bum.
The official cost estimate for the stadium is $775 million.
We found that they got that number by being systematically optimistic in certain respects, and also by simply not counting things that need to be done if we're going to build a stadium on that spot. The estimated true cost is about $1.1 billion.
In an independent report released this month, economist Nicholas Gruen says the stadium's expected costs are being disguised and its benefits overstated. Things like kitchen fit-out, audio and visual systems and moving a heritage-listed shed haven't been included in government costings. Nicholas Gruen doesn't mince words when describing the stadium planning process so far.
Rushed, inadequate community consultation, leading to an outcome which is poor economically.
With any project, there will always be the unforeseeables, but to the best of our information and ability, we have said this is the cost for the stadium, and until other figures come in, the cost is the cost.
The costs of building a stadium here would be split, with the federal government chipping in $240 million, the AFL $15 million and the state government responsible for the rest. But whatever cost blowouts might eventuate, the Tasmanian government insists it'll cap its spend at $375 million. If you're good with numbers, you would have noticed those figures don't add up to the $775 million required, let alone $1 billion. But the state government says it has a plan.
Look, at this stage, everything's on the table in relation to whether we sell land, whether we have long-term leases. It depends on what the private sector might be interested in. The state government made it very clear that $375 million was the cap and remains the cap.
It can't be done. It simply cannot be done. And what is happening is that in the attempt to do it, the project is going into mismanagement.
Under the AFL deal, Tasmania is liable to pay the new club $4.5 million if the stadium isn't 50% complete by October 2027, and another $4.5 million if Tasmania isn't ready to host games for the 2029 season. The proposal is currently sitting with the state's Planning Commission and still needs to go through Parliament.
This thing can't really get going until at the earliest early next year, so it can't be delivered according to the timing.
Even the Premier, Jeremy Rockliff, admits the deadline is tight.
Look, no doubt that'll be a challenge, but we'll work that through with the AFL.
Bottom line is this, Tasmania, it deserves an AFL team, but it should never have had the conditions that the AFL Australia put on it to have that stadium with a roof. So I think it's time that Jeremy Rockcliffe, the Premier, actually took this lock, stock and barrel and actually went hard and just said, we're not doing this, so come back to the table because we need to talk.
Dr Gruen was commissioned to write his report as part of the minority Liberal government's agreement with the Jackie Lambie network at a state level.
Even the former Premier has now come out and went, nothing to see here, but it won't be built on time. I mean, hello? I just do not want the next generation of Tasmanians to be paying for this, and this is exactly what's going to happen. And for what reason? For what reason? With an extra 3,000 seating capacity. Are you kidding me?
Instead, Senator Lambie wants Launceston's York Park upgraded and used.
Tasmania can't afford a new one. There is nothing wrong with UTAS Stadium, which is in Launceston.
If the AFL and other people tell us that the site isn't big enough for a multi-purpose stadium to take the numbers that we think is required, and this is a parcel of land behind me which has been vacant for over a decade without serving any useful purpose. Here is an opportunity for an iconic gateway, a transformative development.
3, 2, 1.
While the stadium proposal is still being assessed, the Tasmanian Devils AFL team has already been launched. And Tasmanians are publicly voicing their support or opposition to the prerequisite stadium.
Tasmanians understand that this is a very special island and we have an obligation to protect it. But we do need development that looks at the future and looks at our potential and what we're capable for and makes this city really special.